So before we start talking about all these crazy NFT stocks going to the moon, such as TKAT, OCG, and a couple others, I just want to do a really quick reminder that there's going to be a lot of fake humble trader accounts in YouTube comment sections, on Twitter, on Instagram as well. Please do me a huge favor and report all of those fake accounts. Once again, my only Instagram account is Humbled Trader. My only Twitter account is HumbleTrader18. I'll never trade or manage anyone else's money, and I'll never try to introduce you to my accountant, my CPA, or my portfolio manager. But I will introduce you to my bag holder. Most importantly, please just exercise some common sense and stay safe out there on the internet. Okay, so let's go over the stocks that everyone's talking about today, which would be the NFT small cap plays. So we'll start with the stock OCG. This is actually a stock that we swung overnight. It was gonna be a longer term swing trade. I thought it was gonna take a couple days to a week. We got in around 990s yesterday. I was looking at a daily, looking like okay, it's increasing in volume, very strong bullish daily chart, and also in the sector sympathy as TKAT. So we got long for the swing around 990s. My target on the daily was gonna be the daily breakout towards 14s and 15s if we get it. And I had no idea that we were gonna get it right away. I thought it was gonna take a couple days. So this morning, this is a day trading account. This morning we were out some pre-market around the 12s and 13s, and I was out rest of it at $16 into the morning push. That's on the swing trade. So very nice swing on that. So the day trades on OCG, I was mostly long biased, but I didn't do as well on the day trades as I did on the swing trades. For OCG, after the consolidation off the open around the lower pre-market low support around 1250s, I did get in long and I sold some into the 13s and was mostly out around 14s before the hold, and I was all out on the on hold at $17. So even with a tiny smaller starter size, that was pretty decent. Now after this push, I was still bullish on it, but I did want to see some pullback and consolidate to move up higher. But unfortunately, after the squeeze out all the shorts and everyone else, the stock just literally was just not bouncing. So it's weak. I did get caught on the long side, unfortunately, even though on the small size, this still sucked. I got in small size around pretty high, I know, in hindsight. I even added small here. This is why I cut all my losses here. So unfortunately, I gave back pretty much a big chunk on the day trade. I did get in and, I tried a couple times. You can see for losses here. This is pretty much the only good day trade here. Around the 12s, I sold into the 1250s. The bounces were just very, very heavy, unfortunately. And, the stock just tanked back to where we entered the swing trade pretty much yesterday around 990s. So overall, not a good trade for the day trades. But I think I definitely did a lot better on the swing trade on OCG. And this is a leader, right? TKAT. So OCG, if you look at the chart, it was basically mirroring what TKAT was doing. And that's the reason I got long on OCG. After the initial morning pullback of the consolidation, I saw that TKAT was starting to bounce. And that's why I got long on OCG and sold into the pushes. On TKAT, I was more patient with this one. I waited till pretty much a double bottom here to start going in for the small long. But it was very heavy along with OCG, and that's why I got out for pretty much really small profit. Longed from 29s and added around 27s. I got out pretty much at $29. So small profit, even though the stock did break out and test $31, I was not involved. And you can see this $31 rejected really quickly, and the stock actually sold off, and it was actually halted from news pending hold. So that's unfortunate, but in this one, it was just a small, tiny day trade for me, and I was not involved in the overnight. But the reason we longed OCG overnight was following the TKAT sympathy. So swinging small caps like these, you have to be like very selective. I used to swing them a lot more before 2020, but the market kind of changed in 2020 and 2021. So that's why I don't swing these things as much. But when I do, I want to make sure so many factors line up, and has to have the right catalyst, the right volume, and we have to have the good entries. So very decent when it works on these small cap overnight trades, especially for those who are under PDT. The overnight trades, the overnight swings, the longer term swings are gonna be like good options to build account for especially if you are restricted to only 3-day trades. So the next stock I traded on the short side was JFIN. So this one actually wasn't watching this until it started picking up volume around 11 o'clock. And that's kind of when, around the time that TKAT was starting to die and actually got halted with a T1 news pending halt. So that's the reason I was more interested in the short side. I did scale in starter sizes on the front side, but it's only after you can see this huge rejection candle on the once it broke new high for like 20 cents and slammed right back down. And this is a very good lesson of why you should not buy breakouts on these low float small cap stocks, because you can see this thing broke out for like 20 cents, and then it dropped $1 or even more. So that's why you don't buy breakouts on small caps. On large caps, maybe I do buy large cap breakouts, but small caps, no, that's a big no. But for small caps, I think I mentioned this many times before, on these breakout plays where you buy, at this whole dollar breakout at 13 and then try to like sell for like 20 cents. That's usually what caused some of my biggest losses as a beginner when I was new to day trading. And that's the reason I don't buy these breakouts anymore. So I was more interested on the short side. Again, no news. Another stock that I think is also running in sympathy with TKAT. So when TKAT died, that's why I'm thinking that, okay, like this thing should start fading as well, especially when it doesn't have any news. So this thing, after the halted down, actually scaled in more short. I didn't have the best average, but again, I only had a starter size in the front side. So it's only after this confirmation candle that I went in on the short side with confirmation. Started scaling in short. I covered some small, but I was covering the majority low around the 990s and 10s. I re-added on this push towards the 11s. You can see how it rejected that $11 level. I couldn't get above it. You can see it rejected once again. So I re-added back in on the short side and was all out in the 1030s and 990s. It did go back lower, but you can see how this started reclaiming back to test VWAP in the 11. So I didn't want to mess with that. So that's why I'm out of the short trade on JFIN. I also did trade some of the larger cap stocks on the long side, AMC, and also this one, UPST. Now this one was, very disappointing for me because we were bullish on this. I planned it all out thinking that, we might, sell off at the open and that's where we go in long. But this thing was actually very strong despite the market being in consolidation, kind of like uncertain stage. So this thing, took off from our key levels around like 82s and just went to 90s, reclaimed VWAP and went up higher. So I really did not expect it to kind of break out right away, right out of the gate. This is what I mean by on large caps, I don't hesitate to buy the breakouts because there's usually a lot more follow through. I don't buy any breakouts. There's obviously still a lot of criteria, a lot of things to think of. But for this one, I did go long on the breakout. 108, I was out on 112s. Pretty nice, $4 per share move. And I did go back in, try to long again around the 106s, 107s. Once this thing broke down, I took the loss. So gave back some profits from earlier, and I did go back and re-long this again, but it just got really choppy, re-longed around 106 and sold into 108 and everything else. It just got really choppy and volume kind of dropped off as well. So definitely the best place was the morning push from 80 something dollars all the way to 112. So that's where it had the most volume, the most momentum, and the trend was clearly to the upside. The other one that I traded that was very disappointing was AMC. So this thing was very, very choppy. I was more on long bias and bullish on the stock, thinking that if we can hold the $14 key level on the daily, then we have upside to push towards the 15s. But you can see this thing keep on rejecting the 1450s, and it kind of makes sense because that was the highs from a couple days ago on the daily. So it just kept on rejecting that. Lots of sellers around those areas. So you can see I did go in and buy the dips a couple of times, once, twice here for some scalps sold into the push. And I tried it again here, started around 1440s and added around the 1413s and added on the way up. I was trying to build a position for a potential move to 1450s and higher towards the 15s if we get that. But the market was just so choppy today. So that's why I got out for pretty much break even on the last half, and the stock just, you can see this 1442, so it just held up for like a good 40 minutes to an hour, and the stock just dumped AMC. So I'm not in the stock anymore. I was more long biased on this. I was thinking I can push to the upside, but it just didn't happen today, unfortunately. So definitely a very interesting day for the small caps, but on the large cap side, there were just not as much volatility and momentum. Now it's time for our Q&A. First question from Corey. She is basically asking about how to analyze stocks that's halted and up with no news, and how to not give in to FOMO. So anyways, to answer your question, Corey, when a stock is up on no news and going straight up, such as JFIN today, that's the reason I shorted it. So that should answer your question, and that's the reason you should not buy breakouts on these small cap plays. As the second question is from Leo, he's asking if I have a custom scanner that pick up the pre-market gainers and the top gainers on the day. So I use Trade Ideas. So I have a video on how I set up Trade Ideas. You can actually even download my settings over there, so you can go and check that out on that tutorial. Third question is from Peter. He's asking which indicator or algorithm am I using that's making the small and green arrows. So those are not indicators. Those are my actual executions. So, if you see a green arrow, that's where I clicked buy or cover. Red arrow, those are the sells or short. So it's not an algorithm. It's not like, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If there's like actual indicators that show, where I should buy and sell. But no, you should trade the price action and trade the setups. You should not focus on, or at least I do not rely on indicators to tell me when to buy or sell. Because that's the thing with indicators. They are always lagging. They always show up after the stock already has made the move. So that's the reason I don't have a bunch of indicators on my screen like RSI, MACD, moving averages, etc., etc. The only thing I have is a VWAP, and I do not use it to use as buy and sell signals. You should be trading your setup, and you should be trading price action. If you are day trading, if you're swing trading, sure, there are indicators you can look at, but I mostly focus on my day trades. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And also, please do me a huge favor and report those fake Instagram accounts, fake Twitter accounts, and also on YouTube comment section. I report them and block them every single day, but every time I block one, 2 or 3 more show up. And so it's up for everyone to just exercise your common sense and please stay safe. And nobody's ever going to trade your money for you. Just keep that in mind. And I know some people are really concerned about Mula, and here's a proof that she is doing well and very green and actually thriving a lot. So if you have a plan by your trading desk, then you'll be a lot more green. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.